What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 64 of the Left Coast Leaf podcast. I'm Sean Orange, joined by Trevor Bass. No Leaf War 64, so I'm throwing it back to my childhood N64 Super Mario Bros. First ever video game console that I got. Loved it.
N64.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I never had one. Well, I had Pong. Pong about 1978.
What's Pong?
Pong was that where that
like ping pong?
You had the paddle on each side, the white paddle, and you had
Okay.
a dial, and we played ping pong. And there was actually a variation of it where it was like a setup where there was like 3 or 4.
Are you sure your age is accurate that you've told me?
And there was a hockey. It turned into a hockey game too. That was cool. And 64 also is my birth year. I was born in 64.
So you've been alive for a Leaf Stanley Cup win. I believe we've talked about this.
Yeah.
67.
67. And 1964, also a big year, the year the Boston Strangler was captured.
Oh.
Considering that the Boston Bruins are strangling the life out of the fucking NHL playoffs right now.
I can't even watch the game.
That has been our
The worst
Stanley
part
Cup
too
Finals
is my
preview.
boss. My one boss is a huge Bruins fan, and he rubs it in so perfectly too, and he just does it like at such like perfect time, and it just I'm like, and I can't say anything. Like they just have our number. It's like,
so
fuck.
Are you like if it was the Leafs on the other end of that?
I'd be so cocky.
Oh, you would, eh? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if it was only like Boston fans that would be cocky, or
No.
because I'm not a chirper when I win. I'm not that.
You're not that guy.
I'm not that guy. So welcome to my deck.
This is cool. We're sitting back here. There's a huge rock face in your
Like
back.
100-foot bluff.
Yeah. Have you ever tried climbing it?
I always considered when the boys were younger, like getting someone to come in here and drill.
I'm surprised
anchor points
your
in there.
boys haven't tried to climb up it.
They've been up over there in that corner before. They got up, but they're not over top.
They seem like the type after a few drinks to try it though.
Well, last weekend I was in Parksville, the weekend before, and they did have a shaker here. So who knows what happened back there. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool spot. I live in a pretty cool little spot here. Some people like a view of the ocean. I have a gigantic rock.
Rock view.
And so that's that. So we got a beer from Wyatt at Liquor Planet. We'll see what we got here. It's a bomber, not 2 tall cans.
Very good, Wyatt.
So I had to bribe you to come over here today.
I know.
Well, not bribe you. I had to change up the format. Had to entice you with the deck.
But there's just nothing to talk
and that's
about.
why I changed the format.
You even tweeted it out where it's like, wow, there's nothing to talk about right now.
There's not. And that's good and bad. I mean, unless you want to take the bait on Darren Drager, like I did a bit today on Twitter. But he comes off the plane from the Worlds and drops a Marner bomb.
But that's
with no sources.
That's not Darren Drager. That is Paul Ferris or whatever his name is.
Drager's. I listened to the quote. I believe. That's what he fucking said. He said, I believe that Marner Camp is going to ask for between 11 and 12 million. Who cares what you fucking believe? I believe that you are washed up and should go to Sportsnet because that's where all the pigeons are. Like, don't soil TSN with your...
You don't like any insider, though.
I like Bob McKenzie. I like Chris Johnston.
Chris Johnston works for Sportsnet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, amongst all pigeons, there's some good birds, too. Like, you ever go on the downtown and like, there's a bunch of pigeons eating shit off the sidewalk, but you see like a nice little robin flies in. That's Chris Johnston on Sportsnet.
I wouldn't come over here if I knew how salty you're going to be.
No, you started. Okay. Red Arrow Brewing Company. It's a camping Saison. So I guess maybe White knew would be on the deck. He gave us like a camping beer. It's a 7.7 alcohol volume from Red Arrow Brewery up in Duncan, just all over the Malahat.
Very nice.
Yeah. So let's get a start on this one. Want me to read it?
Are you going to try and read it?
I've got natural light, not that artificial studio light that is mandated by the Podcasting Association of Canada.
Your Leafs light burning the hole in your brain.
Camping Saison. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Enjoy yourselves around a campfire in the wild surroundings of your home away from home. I have wild surroundings at my home, man. This is so appropriate. What better way to take in the beauty, relaxation, and the company of good friends, you and I, savoring this complex
so close.
West Coast
so
beer.
close.
I almost fucking did
close.
it. Inspired by traditional farmhouse techniques of continental Europe. Speaking of continental Europe, hey, Des?
I know.
my son got accepted to the University of Luxembourg.
How pumped is his
So
girlfriend?
Yeah, she's probably pretty pumped to be close to her. In Germany, that's going to be a good time. I'm going to make a little vacation of that.
For
Maybe
sure.
around the World Hockey Championships in Switzerland next year.
I saw that.
That'd be a nice little journey.
Would he still be in school over at that
Well,
time?
he might, if he stays for the year, I'll make it then. If he doesn't come home in the summer, if he gets a job or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm going to put my mic down. You're going to have to carry this podcast for 30 seconds while I pour the beer.
I carry the podcast all the time. So, what we're looking at to do today, because there is absolutely nothing to talk about. You have stolen an idea.
Yeah.
It's not original from the PTI segment where you want to do 5 burning questions where we're going to have 2.5 minutes. I'm not sure how official. Are we having a timer up?
It's on my phone. I got my timer up on my phone.
So a timer up on your phone, and we have 2.5 minutes. We'll take turns introducing it. I will go first because I'm the best, and we'll just flow from there.
Yeah, so you just tell me when you want to start, and I'll hit the timer, and then after as they do on PTI, once the timer finishes, we can finish our thought. We don't have to just stop talking. That'd be kind of weird.
That's kind of the point of it, though, isn't it? With the timer.
Yeah, they kind of run over a little bit, finish their thought if they're really into
Stop
it.
taking fucking pictures of your beer.
Taking pictures of the beer for the social.
But we're
Because
here
you know
to
what
do.
I always do? We always have the beer. We drink it, and then I have to take a picture of an empty glass. But now I have the glass full of the beer, and it just works out.
Get the timer up. We're not here to talk about your social media activity.
You don't want to know about my social media activity. All right. First topic.
So, what will be the biggest move in the off season for the Leafs?
The biggest move. So I said this is not a signing, though. A move, like a player move, acquisition.
I said move.
Yeah. So you start. What do you think?
For me, I think the biggest move is going to be pieces going out for a right-handed shot defenseman.
Yeah.
That I think the main piece going out, Nazem Kadri.
You think it's going to be a Kadri, eh?
I think he's just burned his bridges 2 years in a row, getting fucking suspended, and I love Naz. I'm a huge Naz guy.
Yeah.
Developed, drafted, homegrown, but he's a liability. And if we can parlay that into a big time, big ticket defenseman, all over it.
I was on the Naz train when the playoffs ended, and he did what he did, and then I just started worrying about center depth, and I'm like, oh man, what if someone gets hurt? We don't have a third line center in the organization, right? So that's going to have to be acquired as well. But I also agree on the right hand D. I don't think this team can carry on and be a serious contender without that right hand D.
I was reading for who they were looking at potentially bringing in. Oh shit! It slipped my mind right now. They're talking about bringing someone in where we need someone that complements Morgan Riley. It can't be a Morgan Riley type player.
No, it has to be his partner.
Yes.
It has to be his partner. Or it's just another Muzzin.
We need someone of Jake Muzzin's ilk on the right side. And you know what? I can live with the Muzzin-Zaitsev second pairing. I thought they were very good in the second round.
Yeah.
We need someone to move into that top 2 pairing on the right side that is an absolute stud that complements Riley.
What team do you think it was coming from? I think it's going to be either Johnson or Kapanen as a centerpiece in the trade. That's my...
With Naz?
No. I think Naz will start the season with the Leafs. Was it an Anaheim guy, a Nashville guy? Who did you think? A Carolina guy?
It was a puck-moving defenseman on the right-hand side. Oh, it's PK Subban.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
Though with PK Subban is... Oh, that's it. With Subban, though, he's exactly the same as Morgan Riley.
Yeah. Just stop it. All right.
You're up now.
Okay. Okay, had a little coughing fit. I'm going to have to edit something out there.
Did the beer go down the wrong pipe?
Yeah, I think it did go down the wrong pipe.
Or did a bird shit on you?
Who's the pigeon now?
You.
Yeah. So, okay. How many Marlies make the team out of camp next year? That is the next topic.
You start.
I'll start. I'm going to say that Rasmus Sandin will be one, and I believe there'll be a spot. I don't consider Trevor Moore a Marley. I consider him a Leaf. But
He did finish the year on the Marlies roster.
He did. Okay, so Moore will have a full-time spot because he didn't finish the year on the Leafs
or
start the year on the Leafs. So I think you have that, and I have a hunch that I don't even know if I'm going to say his name right, that Peter Engvall.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a sort of a fourth line. I don't know if I think they want to maybe look at Bracco for one more year. I think he's well suited to sit there for another year.
He led like the AHL in scoring.
Yeah, a lot of power play stuff. Like I don't think
How many games you watch him play?
One period.
So you're giving your analysis on what?
I read a lot of pieces in the Athletic.
Then you should know how high the Athletic is on Jeremy Bracco.
Oh, they are high on him, but
so you're doing it against the Athletic then?
No, but I feel that like he can't come on. He's not a fourth line player, so he'd have to come into a top 9 role.
He would be in that top 9 when they had to move Cap and Nerner Johnson for the right-handed D-man.
But I just don't think that he would be trusted defensively by Babcock yet. That's what I think. What names you got?
I was just gonna say 2, Bracco and Trevor Moore.
Oh, no defenseman?
Well, I think we're making a move for a D-man.
Yeah.
Which will play with Riley. Then we have Muzzin, Zaitsev as our second pairing, and then our third pairing should be one of Callie Rosen. Actually, I guess he would be a Marley.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or I think that's gonna be Hainsey's gonna be there, and then
Do you think they're gonna get him back?
Then Dermott.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be 2 forwards.
There's also a chance that there could be an extra spot if they do get the right deal for Zaitsev.
The thing is, though, with Dermott's injury, I think a potential Marley could start the year up with the Leafs until Dermott is healthy from his surgery.
Yeah, they wouldn't acquire a guy to just take that spot.
And it really feels like Hainsey's coming back.
Only if they get the right partner for Riley.
No,
Otherwise,
I know.
it's the risk that he's going to be a first pairing guy again. You can't play that way. You can't play that risk.
All right.
So that's that.
Third question. Is the NHL officiating worse than ever? And you know what? I don't know if it's been worse than ever. I think there's been errors made. Errors do happen. The game's fast.
Mm-hmm.
These errors have just happened at like the absolute worst time, and the consequences have been game series changing.
Those gigantic ones.
Yep. And I think that's what everyone's talking about is obviously the 5-minute major on Pavelski.
Yeah.
Or whoever got the penalty, if it was.
Yeah.
Or Eakin still got the penalty. And then obviously the hand pass.
Yeah.
And so it's one where I think there's a few spotlight issues that are just absolute volcano
high profile stuff.
Big time.
I'm less about that than about just the inconsistency and this growing thing where they've gone so far to not want to be affecting the game that they're not even calling stuff that should be called. Like the players have no idea, the coaching staffs have no idea what's a penalty, what's going to be called that night. Like for me, like now that we have a skilled team, I'm really not about the mugging of good players. I want our guys to shine. And sometimes you're affecting the game just by not calling an obvious hook in the neutral zone because that could have been a scoring opportunity off the rush for a really good team.
I think a big issue, though, comes in is the video review and the lack thereof in certain situations where it needs to be either all in or all out, in my view. Like there shouldn't be – you shouldn't be not able to do a video review for a hand pass.
Yeah.
If you can do the minuscule offside ridiculousness.
But what about a guy just sort of – what about the eye in the sky just calling down saying – you missed that hook in the neutral
you're
zone.
talking about the one that Bob McKenzie talked on the Bobcast about the European with a soccer ref.
Yeah, like the VAR.
I like that. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I think you have that and it fixes so many problems.
Yeah.
You don't need video review except for the stupid offside.
Was it the 2004 5 lockout where they came back with just calling everything really tight? I like him to go back to that.
04, 04, 05.
Yeah, I like him to go back to that.
Yep.
So, yesterday a video surfaced that I'm surprised you didn't see of Evgeny Kuznetsov in a hotel room with the line of cocaine sitting in front of him.
I don't go into those type of sites that you venture on.
Yeah. That was on Reddit after dark, but no, he was sitting there, and some guy was filming him, and there was 2 lines of cocaine in front of Kuznetsov. He didn't do the cocaine. The Caps said we need more information. The NHL said we need more information. Kuznetsov has denied that he does cocaine. What would we be saying today if that was Austin Matthews, like our best or second best player?
I would say, did he snort or inhale, whatever the correct terminology is for?
Would you just rush to judgment that he needs to just go out of town and he's a recidivist,
No.
irredeemable drug user?
No.
I mean, I think everybody knows that these guys use party drugs.
Well, you're making assumptions here.
Yeah. But I mean, it's well known.
They're tested though.
Are they
In season.
for that stuff?
Yep.
Hmm.
It's a banned substance.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's
I
a
think there would have
stimulant.
just been there would have been such a insane reaction to that from Leaf Nation and the Toronto media, and I don't know that a guy could come back from that.
Do you think it would be bigger than the Doug or the Rob Ford smoking crack video if it was a Leaf video?
Yeah, it would have been, because it would have been like international news.
Do you think there would be a comment about? I don't want to go there actually.
Seems like so long ago.
You know what? There's sometimes where I fire up just the old Rob Ford videos and just die of laughter.
I'm jealous of Ontario.
Going to Ontario this weekend.
Yeah, wedding.
Good old 2.5 days in Ontario.
So if nothing came of it, you'd forgive Austin. We move on.
Well, if he said he didn't do it, then I would believe him.
Yeah. Okay. So just like it's part of the game. Everybody does it. Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that.
I know, but it's pretty incriminating. I mean, I think we kind of even gloss it over because it's a Russian player. I'm like, oh yeah, they're in Russia. That's what they do over in Russia.
Stereotyping here.
Yeah, big time.
So do you think Russians do cocaine then?
I think there's a lot of underworld stuff that Russian hockey players get into that North American hockey players, the Swedish hockey players, don't get into.
All right, the last question.
Pavel Bure.
The last question is, will Kawhi stay?
Will Kawhi Leonard stay?
How invested are you right now in the Raptors on a scale of 1 to 10?
1.
See, I'm like 11.
Yeah.
I'm a Raptors guy. I don't know if that's been from growing up in Ontario. Like, I grew up with them. So when the Raptors came to fruition, I would have been like 7 years old. I remember Vince Carter was like the shit. I'm totally invested. I had to travel home on Saturday. No fucking TV in the airport because the airport was like closed, and so I had to FaceTime my mom to watch the Raptors game. I could watch it, and she wanted to talk to me, and I'm like, Mom, be quiet and turn the TV up.
We've been talking our whole lives.
I was so into it, and then like I had to board the airplane, and so I'm getting like the live blow-by-blow text updates.
Yeah,
and literally it took like 10 minutes to play like 0.4 seconds with all.
Kept going back to the replay,
and I was like taking off. I'm like, what the fuck?
That was insane.
But no, I think though, to answer the question, I think Kawhi stays.
Do you?
I think Toronto is an amazing city, and I think it's when you get there and you live in the city and you see what like that fan base is like.
Yeah.
It's why would you want to leave? But
I think that. The reason I'm not invested in the series is because I'm not invested in any NBA team. I like the league. I follow the storylines.
You're a Grizzlies guy?
I'm looking at no. I was a Sixers guy.
You're a basketball guy though too.
Huge, but I was a Sixers guy when I was a kid, and then I just sort of drifted into the Supersonics when I moved out here, and which are gone now.
Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp.
I believe he did cocaine.
He has like 19 kids. He probably does cocaine, and so. I kind of look at it like almost like a journalist now. I'm kind of like I follow the storylines, but I don't feel like I have a horse in the race. But my thoughts on Kawhi is I don't think he's going to sign because I think he really is a warm weather guy. I think the weather is the reason that he doesn't sign. But I believe this is out there. The Raptors are the only teams that can offer him 5 years.
Correct.
Everyone else can offer him 4.
He makes next year $60 million to stay in Toronto.
37.
Well, no, it was like the max. It could be 4 times 144 or 5 times like 200 or something.
Okay. I believe that if he doesn't want to stay, he does them the solid of a sign and trade.
Maybe.
I think it's going to be a sign and trade situation. I haven't heard that yet anywhere. That's my original idea. So
how'd you like the beer?
I like the beer a lot, actually. I like that beer. And the nice thing is it's local. And you know what? Next time I run up Island, I'll just take a growler with me and probably get a fill.
When you get on our smart car?
Get in the smart car. I got a smart car yesterday. Well, it's not my car, but I'll drive it once in a while.
You are a smart car guy.
Well, you know, I'm a bit of a smart car pigeon. So, yeah. Sorry about the choppiness at about the 11-minute mark there. Choked on my beer. Not because it was not good, but because it was...
Was there a fly in your beer?
There might have been. It's so nice out here right now.
Beautiful out.
Beautiful. And this is exactly where the hot tub is going to be sitting when it comes in about a month.
With all your cocaine and hookers?
And we're gonna do a pod from the hot tub.
You're buying a hot tub?
Yeah, it's coming. It's on the way. And it'll be right where we're sitting now. And we are going to do our podcasts are on YouTube right now, but the hot tub one will be our first video podcast.
Right on.
Getting a whole camera team in for it.
I would like it.
Yeah, we're gonna just turn on the jets and do a podcast. So we have some travel to do in the next couple of weeks. We're probably a couple of weeks away from another podcast now because it gets super busy.
Yep.
Unless something breaks.
Probably nothing's going to happen until after the Cup, I'd say. After
the Cup or after the draft?
Cup. It's like that 10 days in the lead up to the draft are going to be huge.
Yeah. It's I tried to buy draft tickets. This is messed up. I'm going to tell this quick little story. So the draft is in Vancouver this year. They were released a limited amount of tickets in the upper bowl because the lower bowl is reserved for family, media. There's no seats behind the stage, obviously, kind of like a concert setup, right? And so I guess season ticket holders probably got first dibs. So the general Ticketmaster population got to go on at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. And so I was ready on my app, had a good connection. Boom, I'm in. I find 4 in a row. I click, add to cart, go to checkout. Sorry, somebody else got those seats. I did that 3 times. And all 3 times I had my seats, and then I went to put them in my cart, and they weren't there anymore. And by 10:03, the whole thing was sold out.
Wow.
And by 10:15, there was tickets for fucking $150 on StubHub.
You're not going to go to the draft?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Media pass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the Aquilinis. No, I'll get there. I'd like to go there.
It'd be all right.
Steve Dangle is in Vancouver the next day, doing a book signing. I was thinking of buying a whole bunch of Steve Dangle's books and just like signing them here, like signing my name on them.
Like in fact, like if you had written them yourself.
I'll just go like I'll set up at like chapters. And I'll just say, Steve Dangle book signing. And I'll say, hey, I'm Trevor from the Left Coast Leaf podcast. I'll sign your Steve Dangle book. What do you think? Because I wouldn't be purging. Plagiarizing?
Go Raptors, go.
Plagiarizing. Raptors, go.